saw you came out first play unbalanced. Is that the first time you guys have run that this season?
No, I think we've had a couple other times. First play of the game for sure, first time, but I think we have a couple other unbalanced ones that we've had in there. All right.
So what'd you think of the first game with Tommy Reese? I mean, did you feel different? Did the offense feel different to you? The rhythm of it or anything?
I thought different's hard, but I thought we did a good job getting the plays in for the most part. There's one little thing when, Sed was banged up, and I don't think they knew yet that he wasn't able to go. I thought we moved the pocket a little bit more. I thought there were some good things we did. Obviously, we want to execute, but we had some really nice drives there for touchdowns. A big play off the turnover was, kind of off of movement protection. So some good things like that. And like I said, the operation to me for the most part was pretty smooth.
Joel, you talk about moving the pocket a little bit. It seemed like there was an emphasis on getting Dylan sort of rolled out a little bit and running some of those plays. Just how much do you think that's a strength of his game and something that you could build on?
Yeah, it helps him. I think it opens up the field for him. It puts guys, in front of you, like, all right, we got to, kind of see that side of the field. And then it helps too because now the backside DN might not be crashing as hard on a run, or they're not sure it's the same look as a run or a pass. So I think it just kind of opens up everything for us.
Well, it seems like, and you talked about this a little bit after the game too, but it does really seem like the offensive players are genuinely really behind Dylan and understand, that it takes a little time and patience to develop a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
But is that legitimate that you feel that that's sort of offense-wide that you guys are really behind him like that?
Yeah, I think the locker room supports him. We understand how hard, quarterback's the most important position in all sports, I think. And, to come in and have to play as a young guy, third-round pick, you want to give the guy a chance to develop and find his rhythm. And we keep talking about executing around him. If we can give him his best opportunities, then we're hopeful that, the play can improve and lead to some wins. But no, we got the most support for him. Really, whoever's back there, we're going to support, we're going to go for. But Dylan's our guy right now, and we're really focused on trying to be the best versions of ourselves to help him out.
And can you imagine that? I'm sure he does a great job of blocking out the noise, and I know all you guys are really focused on doing that. But can you imagine that it also might be a little bit hard for him when there's just so much noise surrounding the quarterback situation here and Shador and all of that?
Yeah, I mean that's probably a question we can ask Dylan. But I tell the young guys all the time, stay off Twitter, stay off Instagram. It's no good for you. And so hopefully he's sticking to that. I mean, he is a study guy. He's in here studying the plays and stuff. I feel like he's very focused on his assignment and what he needs to do, to be the best version of himself. But yeah, I think he stayed focused, and there's always going to be noise, especially like I said at that position. But he's done a good job to me of staying focused and concentrating on the task at hand.
Joel, Tommy told us on that 4th and 1 that he wishes he would have run the ball. What does it mean to you to have a coordinator kind of publicly, kind of own that and own the mistake there?
Yeah, no, Tommy is a straightforward guy. He's going to tell you how he feels, good, bad, or indifferent, and kind of tell you what he expects. And after the game, there's a few plays where he's like, I wish I would have called it this way. I wish I would have called that. That was one of them that he's like, I wish I would have ran the ball, But when you're in the heat of the moment, you go out there, and you try and execute the play, that's something you can look back on the next day or, watching film on the bus, all right, what can we do better in this situation? But when you have a leader that, takes accountability, I feel like that's all you can really ask.
Yeah, I mean, is that something that kind of trickles down to, if he's willing to take accountability for that, kind of trickles down to the play?
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a lot of guys that are focused on doing their best and trying to improve. But I don't think we've had an issue with accountability of guys saying we need to be better or we need to, make the play in those certain situations.
What about just how well the Ravens defense has been playing, especially over the last 3 weeks, and they got a ton of pressure last week against the Vikings and everything. What are you seeing?
Yeah, they've done. I mean, they've been a great defense. They've had some ups and downs the last couple of years, but I think the last 3 or 4 weeks they've been really dialed in. They've gotten healthier. They're missing a couple guys up front, but they've brought guys in that are great players as well, and they just fit their system so well. And I think they plug guys in, and they they're not afraid to kind of tinker with what's working. You know, Kyle Hamilton is obviously a great player, and they're like, oh, he's, you know, let's put him by the line of scrimmage, and he's been blitzing and making plays, and he's tough for running backs to block, and he's fast, you know, can cover guys as well, and they do a good job with him and Roquan and all their guys inside. So it's a very multiple front, and I think it takes them a while to figure out what works for the guys they have at that point, and they've kind of put them in a good place.
It seems like off of that they've got a lot of more pressure just by blitzing, not so much like just from the front four. So how much is that an emphasis for you guys to sort of be ready to account for extra guys?
Yeah, decent amount of blitzing, and they always try and overload one side or show one and bring the other, blitz the back a lot. It's a big emphasis, and then their blitzes also are combined with like line games. So you'll have like a TE with a nickel pressure, and sometimes it's easier when you don't have a game, you know. So they do a good job of mixing things up, and it's something that we've been focused on today. You know, our third downs and really trying to figure out what their plan is against us.
I feel like you guys will be able to correct the protection problems that you had in the last game.
Yeah, a lot of those were, you know, it comes down to, again, the one-on-ones. And so we've been really focused on fundamentals, on pad level, on hands, all those things. We want to make sure we're, like we said, giving our offense the best chance. And as an O-line, we have to play at a higher level to do that.
Hey, Joe, we just talked to Joel for the first time since his injuries. What's he like being around him when you see him in the building, and just you put yourself in his shoes, how tough that would be?
Yeah, I mean, he was a little bit down for a few weeks, but he's been back, and he's been in here rehabbing and doing his thing. You know, it sucks, but he's kind of used to the rehab process now. But I think he's grown as a person that's rehabbing too. He's doing a really good job. You know, he's been back in meetings a little bit and trying to pick up things and just understanding. You're still a young player in this league. You know, I don't know how many games you started, maybe 10 or 15, and it's like, you know, you're going to year 4 next year, but you want to build and pick up and understand, you know, this offense and just the NFL play as much as possible. But his attacking the rehab has been, in my opinion, like much improved, and he's been very focused on it. Sweet, thanks.